Alright, I think saying a prayer with her is a good idea. Petra closes her eyes and prays to her God for aid in making a good plan to save Theo and Jess. It starts out well, but then it begins to drag on. Let your holy friend take as long as she needs, and patiently clear your throat. Say this is rubbish, we have work to do. We'll let her keep going. The prayer lasts for over an hour as Petra goes from asking help to thanking her God for the help already received. Then it's over. She seems more at peace. Petra relationship +3 and religion +3. What's a relationship with Petra anyway? 99. Before any rescue attempt is made, you'll need to know exactly where your friends are being held. Sneak into the keep and investigate the clerk's office yourself. Cast a divination spell. Yeah, fucking cast a divination spell. Alright, you cast your spell of clairvoyance and use it to look through the offices and the dungeons themselves. You are appalled to see that many of the prisoners are being held in unlit cells, which stops your magical sight as well. Eventually, you find a solid-looking door with a pair of guards standing in front of it. They mention Jess's name. After a few minutes of spying on them with your magic, they mention Theo's name as well. There is no doubt you have found your friends. I found them, you say out loud as you rub your tired eyes. You spend nearly a week gathering information about the dungeons. In addition to finding out where your friends are being held, you learn many other useful things. The warden of the dungeons is an obese man named Bunta. Rumor says that he isn't entirely human, that he has ogre blood in his veins. Bunta is 7 feet tall and weighs over 500 pounds. That's going to be great. They say that he has the only keys to all the cells, and because of his enormous size, he never leaves the dungeon. With a foul temper and perverse tastes, the monster in charge of guarding your friends will need to be dealt with for you to be successful. But first, you have to get down into dungeons. Wait for night and sneak in, learn what you can about Bunta. Let's do it. It seems that everyone in Brightwater has a horror story to tell about their local boogeyman. The common elements include his enormous size and his repulsive lusts. Young prostitutes, male and female, are steadily purchased and sent down for his entertainment. It doesn't take long to find the men responsible for conveying these poor souls to the monster. You are clearly not alone in the dark alley you meet him in. The shadows around him are likely his hired muscle, and you undoubtedly have a crossbow aimed at you while you speak. Bribe the man into sending one of you to Bunta. Ask the man to send one of you to Bunta. Leave the alley and return to your room at the inn. Let's leave. Fuck that. We're going to wait for night and sneak in. You and Petra wait until the wee hours of the morning. Carefully, you go to the door that leads down to the dungeons. You aren't surprised to find it locked up tight. This is merely the exterior door that keeps out people who shouldn't be there. The real security will be downstairs. Attempt to unlock the door. Cast a spell to blast the door off its hinges. Smash the door down. Try to cast a spell of silence on the door. Let's cast a spell of silence. Use the spell to complete the incantation. Unfortunately, you have no way of knowing if it worked or not. Well, it fucking worked, because I'm 100 in magic, so we're going to unlock the door. You take out your lockpicks and get to work. Unfortunately, no matter what you do, you can't seem to get the door open. Need 60 devices. Fuck off! How the hell are you supposed to have that kind of device thing? I mean, god damn it! Fucking bullshit. Alright, let's blast the door off the hinges. It's silent already. The door flies across the room. Your spell completes. The silent spell you cast wasn't designed for such a thing. The door clatters down the stairs into the dungeon. You hear the answering sound of footsteps as guards run up to meet you. Have a fireball ready and blast their fucking asses back down those steps. The guards startled at first, but they know their job and immediately draw their swords. Draw your own sword and deal with them swiftly. Fight the guards. Draw your bow. Summon flames to blast against the guards. The guards can't defend themselves. The fire washes over them. The battle ends quickly as Petra lends you support. Within seconds, they are all lying dead at your feet. With the guards subdued, you can continue searching your friend's cell. You follow the many branching tunnels on your way to your destination. You know that you are very close, but as you open the second-to-last door, you receive a terrible shock. It's a small guard room with a dirty cot, a wooden table covered in dirty dishes, and the fattest man you have ever seen. The rumors of Bunta's ogre heritage seem very real as the slug of a man turns his head towards you. He is wearing a warden's uniform but holds no weapons, although a large crossbow hangs from his hip. A squeak from the cot catches your attention. You see a young boy sitting there, his eyes blank and his face empty of any emotion at all. He is likely a prisoner and lacks any hope of release. Draw your sword and kill Bunta. Draw your dagger and kill Bunta. Draw your bow and fill Bunta with arrows. Try to punch Bunta. Summon flames. Fucking set him on fire, goddamn. The fire washes over blubbery warden, causes a terrible smell to fill the air. He takes out half a salve. Bunta interlocks his fingers and cracks them before taking a lumbering step toward you. Swing your sword, lash, punch, cast a bolt of electricity. Fuck him, hit him with electricity. You're in mid-gesture when the fat man catches you mid-air and grins. The spell breaks without going as he steps close to you. Grab Bunta wrist and twist. Draw your dagger with your other hand and repeatedly ram to Bunta's side. Call to Petra for help. Call to Petra. Yeah, there we go. Petra uses the distraction to slam her morning star against the back of Bunta's head. It strikes the fat man with sickening plunk. You catch your breath as you look around the fat warden's room. A small lockbox under the cot gets your attention. It looks like Bunta has been stealing precious mementos from his prisoners. When you pry the box open, you find it empty. But as you look closer, you realize that what you at first thought was a very dark shadow is actually a cape. You pull the cape of shadows from the box and look at it in amazement. There is no way to know who owned the valuable artifact, and its owner is likely dead now anyway. Gain the cape of shadows and gained plus 20 stealth bonus. Fuck yeah! The boy on the bed watches on and says nothing. Petra staggers over to the body and takes the keys from the warden's corpse. Leave the child, take the child with you. Sure, we can kill him later. The boy follows you like a lost puppy. Plus 5. Good, cool. You continue onward and eventually find the door to the cell that is holding your friends. Using the key salvaged from Bunta's corpse, you unlocks the door. Yes, my precious. The inside of the cell makes your heart drop to your stomach. It's empty, the cell where your friends were being held. We're too late, Petra says softly, looking at the empty room. They're dead. That's half true, a calm voice says from behind you. You see a man wearing chainmail and a tabard with a Brightwater insignia on it. You see a woman wearing chainmail with a tabard Brightwater insignia on it. We'll go with a man this time, sure. The man stands very respectable, 6.5 feet tall. He has a serious look on his face. He wears a long sword on his hip, and his chainmail looks meticulously well oiled. His brown hair is well groomed, and his short brown beard is neatly trimmed. His movements are graceful, and you can tell from his athletic build that he is in excellent shape. You see Petra grip her morning star tightly and turn toward the newcomer. Hold on, Ben, a gruff voice says. To your surprise, you see the hulking shape of Theo step around the man in chainmail. The mountain man has a full beard and is wearing dirty rags, but otherwise he seems healthy. You look around for Jess, but don't see her. It's unfortunate that you killed the guards. They were good men and women, the unknown man says. Although everyone will be glad to learn that Bunta has finally been put down the dangerous dog he was. Hurry! We must go before more guards come. The child is coming too? The silent boy says nothing, but Petra nods in answer, indicating that you are bringing the young prisoner with you. Together you walk quickly through the dungeon tunnels until you're standing before a blank wall. The man pushes a brick, and to your surprise, a large section of the wall swings open to reveal a secret passage. You are led through the hidden pathway until you surface just outside the outer wall of Brightwater's keep. You walk through the dark streets until you reach a small, nondescript house. Once you are inside and the door is closed, Theo smiles happily. So this is Prince Ben, the lost heir to the throne of Daria, the man says as he takes a seat at the wooden table in the main room while Theo does the same. Yes, and you are? Who are you? Where is Jess? Theo, what's going on here? Thank you for helping. Yes, and you are? This is Bran, captain of the city of Brightwater, Theo explains. There was a demon hidden in Zuzak's room, Theo says. It caught Jess and me almost immediately. Zuzak had no use for us, since he caught you right afterwards. He gave us to Selena. Ben, you were right not to have tried to rescue us anyway. After you escaped Zuzak, Selena turned the dungeon into a big trap for you. She's an evil woman. She poisoned Jess and me every day. Hallucinations, burning pain, nausea. I have to admit, we both prayed for death to take us. Unfortunately, Jess got her wish and died in that cell. As weeks turned into months, Selena's attention was drawn elsewhere, and soon she stopped visiting me altogether. That's when Bran rescued me and brought me here. Bran clarifies. I couldn't just release Theo, or Selena would have tracked us down, recaptured Theo, and killed me. I brought him here instead of leaving it with Bunta. I've bribed him a lot of gold to do this. The occasional times that Selina wanted to interrogate Theo after those first few months, I used the secret passage to return him to the cell. It hasn't been that bad, but honestly, I'm looking forward to shaving off this itchy beard. Oh, that's Theo saying that, actually. Ask what now? Ask what do you get out of it? Ask what will stop you from telling Selina about me and collecting any reward she may offer? Thank you for all you've done for us. Sure, we'll thank him. Prince Ben, Brand says, as he looks at you with serious eyes, I have served Brightwater faithfully all my life. Selina is a monster, but she is the legal ruler. I had to obey her commands. But now that you are here, I have a glimmer of hope in my heart. You are the rightful ruler, and I am your most loyal subject. Theo and I will help you in any way we can to regain your lost kingdom and reunite the kingdom of Daria once more. Petra listens to Brand and Theo with a rapt expression on her face. Meanwhile, the young boy has fallen asleep on the floor next to the fire. The talk continues through the night as a plan is laid out before you. You learn that Selina is in Tornassa, where she has been spending a lot of time over the last year. The red-haired poisoner has been seen exclusively in the company of Duke Udo, the ruler of the westernmost duchy, which holds many important cities, including Tornassa. The short, pock-marked duke with bulging eyes is known to have a shrewd mind, so uniting the duchies of Dumaine and Udo could have been either of their ideas. Either way, it means that Selina is not currently in Brightwater and gives you a great opportunity to steal away her duchy. Unfortunately, it will mean that you'll have to work quickly. Think about any historical precedents, consider how the other countries have changed rulership. Say, it is my God's given right to rule, I am the true heir. Show Bran your signet ring. Ask any suggestions on how we can use her absence to... we'll show Bran the signet ring real quick. Exactly, Bran says as he looks at your family's ring. With you back, the Eastern lords and ladies could have a vote to reinstate and coronate you as the king of Daria. +2 charm and plus Bran relationship 5. We need to move quickly, Bran says. As soon as Selina hears the vote, you can be sure that she'll hurry back here to put an end to it. A fast rider would take a week to get to Tornassa, and Selina would take a week to get back to Brightwater. I will call for a Grand Council in 2 weeks' time, so Selina will have no chance to stop us. There won't be enough time to speak to all the nobles, Theo says. He won't need to, Bran says with a serious face. There are 3 lords in Brightwater who are the most influential. If you can gain their support, enough of the other lords and ladies will follow their lead. You talk late into the night about your plans to reunite Daria, during which Theo cut his beard and washes away the prison filth. It's good to see him back in the mountain man clothing with his warhammer hanging from his belt once more. His dungeon days are over. You wake up early the next morning, knowing that you have only 14 days to gain the support needed to be declared the rightful ruler of the Dumaine Duchy. No, why do I keep saying Duchy? Since Selina's spies will know about your existence the moment you begin trying to persuade the nobles anyway, you begin your plan by announcing your existence to the world. This bold move gives you bid for a throne, a sense of confidence that you hope will help sway the more timid nobles. Word spreads quickly, and the house that you are staying in becomes surrounded by curious city folk. Begin meeting with the eastern nobility. Visit the shops before you start the diplomacy. Fuck it, we're going to begin eating right away. Alright, with only 2 weeks to gain enough votes, you begin to apply the fine arts of politics. Decide what to do with the child you saved in the prison. Speak to Lord Vale. What are we going to do with the child? The child still hasn't spoken since being brought. You ask the child his name, but he says nothing. Ultimately, you end up calling him... we'll name him Nilk. Alright, kick the child out of the house, send the child back to the prison, ask Nilk where he would like to live. The child doesn't say a word no matter how many options describe the pictures you offer. You can't seem to get Nilk to respond. We'll keep him there. Nilk is no trouble and never speaks. Bran, Petra, Theo all help you look after him while you are out. You know that you'll have to find him a real home eventually, but now the boy is happy to be with you. +5 good, and lost 1 day. That should be fine. 92 good. Yay. 13 days in the Crowd Council. General of the Eastern Armies. Head of the Academy of Wizards. We'll speak to him first. Alright, when you ask Bran where you can meet the Archmage, he informs you that Archmage Kumari rarely leaves his academy. Although the academy is technically in the domain duchy, it has always held itself apart from everyone else, similar to when your parents ruled Daria. If you wish to speak to the Archmage, you will return to the academy. Riding a young, timid riding horse is better than walking, but it will still take you 4 days to ride there and another 4 days to ride back. God fucking damn! Alright. So that's gonna be 8 days. Shit. What is this gonna do? Okay, I'll be sure to meet with him. Lord Vale relationship with my tent. Oh, what is this? Lord Vale is a stern man in his mid-50s. His iron-gray hair gives him a look of authority, and his body is rock-hard from disciplined exercise and eating. He was a gifted commander for your parents and is acknowledged as one of the finest strategic minds in the 4 duchies. His ability as a general would be invaluable. As a busy man, he requests that you walk with him during his daily inspections of the soldiers, battlements, and fortifications of Brightwater. It's a pity that you had to kill those poor soldiers who were guarding your friend, Lord Vale says, although I agree that you had no choice. Let me be blunt, Prince Ben, he says. I'm happy that you were alive, and I don't doubt your story about Zuzek's betrayal. Despite being a military man, I don't like war, and I don't want to see my soldiers getting killed needlessly. Duchess Selena keeps the peace. In fact, she may even join her domain duchy to that of Udo for even more security. If you let us, you'd have no choice but to march the army southwest to invade Lud in order to take over the Duchy of Adan. Then, you'd march us north to take Tornassa and the Udo Duchy. Then continue north to defeat Zuzak and Vernix, annexing the Bandar Duchy to reunite Dario. Once started, you'd have to keep going, or else we'll have years of civil war. Agree with his assessment? I'm going to have to agree with him. Yep. Let's ask him what I could do. The army is made to be used. Only a fool would ask you not to use it. I only ask that you treat your soldiers with respect. Show them respect by learning their names, knowing the patrol routes, watching their training, and understanding their needs. And of course, don't cut the military budget. We need the money for our salaries, pensions, and to maintain our weapons and armor. Let's discuss war sending. Lord Vale becomes extremely interested in your words as you discuss how tax revenue should be used for military spending, fortifications, soldier pensions, salaries, equipment maintenance, supplies, and thousands of other details all cost gold. That you will increase military spending. Promise Lord Vale that you keep military spending the same. Tell Lord Vale you will need to lower. Make no firm commitment to Lord Vale about. We'll keep military spending the same. If that is your decision, Your Majesty, although we may run into some difficulties if the army is called upon without any increase in funding. Sure, we'll... 13 days. Let's spend 3 days. Oh, wait, what is this? You only get one chance to make a good first impression. The soldiers are uncertain of having you as a potential monarch. General Vale hides his disappointment, and you can tell that despite your militaristic shortcomings, he still appreciates all of the efforts you make when it comes to inspecting the soldiers. I do a shit job at inspecting them. That's great. There are many soldiers in and around Brightwater. Lord Vale knows the locations of all of them and knows what each company is doing. If you are to gain the respect of the general and someday command the troops, he expects you to know all of the fine details as well. There are 13 days left until the Ground Council. How many days will you spend inspecting the troops? Oh, fuck it. We'll spend 3. Days until the Grand Council, 10. Already spoke to him. Lord Tovar is a thin, short man who wears glasses despite being a noble. Lord Tovar is a diligent and extremely intelligent clerk. As master of the treasury, he knows how taxes work and knows all of the money, where all the money is spent. His office is kept meticulously clean and organized. He stands up as you enter and gestures for you to take a seat opposite his desk. I'm honored to meet you, Your Highness. The treasury is not well. We have many liquid assets ready as we can for emergencies, and we have begun work on a few infrastructure projects. It's a precarious time, but we are managing. Selena discourages the use of demon summoning in Brightwater, so we aren't having the same troubles as the rest of the 4 duchies, but she is still bleeding our resources dry. Let's ask him what I can do to restore his vote. The treasury is always a house of cards. Taxes coming in, payments going out. I would be much happier to have a ruler who understood this balance. Study the books. Alright, so I get increased that, and then the tax laws are not always easy to understand, but even more challenging is understanding how certain laws influences economic growth. There are 10 days left until the Grand Council. Let's spend another 3 days with him, and then that'll increase that. So we've got 7 more. We talked to Lord Tovar. Spend time speaking to the other Eastern lords and ladies. Bran's plan was to focus on the 3 most influential voters and hope they could sway the others enough to win you the election. Although it might be a good strategy, it seems foolish to ignore the rest of the voters entirely. There are 7 days until the Grand Council. How many days will you spend, Eastern lords and ladies? Let's spend 3 days with them and then split the other 4 days that we have between the other 2. Alright, you visit the Lord and Ladies of the East. You introduce yourself to several of them and learn about their thoughts and concerns. We'll speak to him. We spent some time training. Ooh, +2 blades, +2 archery, +2 endurance, and Lord Vale relationship. Cool. Let's spend 2 more days here. And then we'll talk to Lord Tovar. Can we discuss war spending? This is the greatest expense. We really need to get it under control, or we will not have the funds necessary to fund other capital projects. We'll tell him we'll keep military spending the same. He likes that. We'll ask him if he teach me any magic. Nature +1. The glasses, isn't it? The clerk says he takes the lenses off his face. They aren't magic. They are a clever invention, you see. They heat sand until it's in... Okay, so he explains to me how glass is made. And then we'll study the books for our last 2 days. And then we have to talk to the mage guy, but I'm probably as powerful as him anyway. Alright. Alrighty then. So then we studied them. We talked to the regular ones. We didn't bother fucking up any of the guys that wouldn't vote for me, because that doesn't matter. Hopefully won't, because I'm a good ruler. We'll meet the Archmage. Archmage Kumari meets you in the hallway just as he is about to enter the main hall. Greetings, Your Highness, the Archmage says. I must say, I'm surprised to find out who you really are. You stayed with us for a year without me suspecting a thing. So I got some more relationship with him. The lords and ladies nod in greeting to you as they attempt to squeeze past. You hear the master of ceremonies banging his staff on the floor from within as he attempts to get everyone to sit down. Pardon me, but it seems that I need to find my seat, Archmage Kumari says as he leaves you in order in the hall. I wish we had more time to talk. It is likely wise to assume that Selena now has word of what you are doing, but as suspected, she didn't make it back to Brightwater in time. So far as I know, Bran has done well since the great hall of the keep is filled with the lords and ladies of the Eastern Duchy. You see General Vale and Lord Tovar among the assembled nobles. You also see a group of men and women in bright blue robes covered in yellow stars and moons sitting apart from the other nobles. In the midst of these wizards you see Archmage Kumari. Prince Ben, the herald intones as you enter, first and only child of the late King Brand and Queen Jade, heir presumptive to the former kingdom of Daria. Several of the nobles clap as you are introduced. You recognize them as the ones you had a chance to visit. The proceedings are very formal as a cleric of Lucian steps forward and proclaims that you are indeed who you claim to be. The tension in the room skyrockets as a tall, bald man in expensive clothing stands up and speaks. "This is a farce," the man says. "Daria is no more. Duchess Selina is the ruler of Domain Duchy, and this relic of our past is no longer relevant. Say she was made ruler by error. Since I am still alive, my right to the throne supersedes her claim. Selina murdered your rightful king and queen. You are the true power in the land. You may vote as you please. The gods and goddesses themselves ordained my position as the heir." We're going to yell that she killed them. The nobles in the hall glance down at their feet and over your head. Nobody seems able to look you in the eye as you pronounce the fact that their duchess is a killer and guilty of regicide. You know it will be hard for them to keep Selina as their ruler and have a clear conscience. Perception +2. Yay! I like increased perception. That's nice. 37. I wish it was higher. My perception and charm and endurance, they need to be up higher. Don't care as much about strength, agility, and willpower. I'd kind of like up there too, but these go up too goddamn slow. Bullshit. Oh, my stealth is up to 26 now. That's neat. My arcana knowledge is up there pretty high. My nature and religion are also both pretty high too. Petra loves me. Theo and Bran are both alright. Lord Vale likes me. Lord Tovor likes me. Archmage Kumari likes me. Nook likes me. I don't know what the fuck that's gonna do, but he likes me. The bald noble is daunted by your words, but speaks one more time. "The vote shall take place, as is the law, but Duchess Selina has been a fair and just ruler. Empires fall and dynasties crumble. Why should we return to a monarchy when our four duchies are serving us so well? The Domain Duchy is failing," Lord Torvor's voice says quietly as all eyes turn towards him. "Our treasury is nearly empty, and we receive less taxes every month. The harvests are sitting in the field, and our citizens do not labor. Instead, they summon demons to try to get their work done. But for every successful summoning, 2 go wrong. We need to ban demon summoning again, not just in Brightwater, but Selina won't do that. She's too closely tied to the consortium. I will be voting for Prince Ben." Lord Torvar relationship +2 and gained a faction of voters. Cool. Things move quickly after this. The bald noble returns to his seat and the ballots are passed around. The lords and ladies talk amongst themselves as they vote. You hear more about the demon woes troubling the land and how Selina does nothing to stop it. Once more you ponder Zuzak's motives. What use did he have for the broken demon stone you carry? After killing your parents and creating the duchies, he could have lived like a king without any of the responsibilities of governing. Why would he cause needless chaos by sending out crates of demon stones and lifting the ban? What did he stand to gain? It makes no sense. The ballots are cast and the votes are counted. The results? Just a second. This voting is boring as fuck. "Hear ye, the herald shouts. "The assemblies of lords and ladies hereby proclaim that the Duchy of Domain is no more. The kingdom of Daria hereby recognizes Prince Ben as the true and rightful heir to the throne." The herald continues the formalities, but you are only partially listening. One thing that you take note is the fact that you won by a narrow margin. The council decides that your coronation will take place after you have reclaimed all of Daria. After the civil uncertainty of the last decade, it is decided that continuing to call you a prince will help the populace see the validity of your rule as a connection to the past. You have no time to celebrate as dozens of nobles clamor to speak to you. Needed 3 or 4 faction the voters' reward. Woohoo! Speak to Bran. Speak to General Vale, give a speech to the citizens of Daria. We're going to give a speech because everybody's like clamoring after me. There are many lords and ladies trying to speak to you. Some of them want favors, some of them want the prestige of having spoken to the prince, and some of them have legitimate questions. You put it all on hold as you prepare to speak to the people themselves. Hundreds gathered to hear the results of the vote, but when it is known that you will be speaking to them directly, the crowd swells into the thousands. As you step onto the balcony, the crowd cheers politely. As you won by just a few votes, the citizens are uncertain about their new ruler. You tell the people that you plan to serve them faithfully and with the best interests at heart. Tell the people that they are yours to command, that any disloyalty will not be tolerated. Oh, that's fucked up. The crowd applauds your words, but you can see that they are hesitant to believe you. After living on a fuck your 50 charm bullshit. After living under Selena's rule for so many years, and knowing that the other three duchies will not be happy with the situation, they are fearful of the uncertain future. So citizen reputation plus 5, but I still needed 50 charm for something. Alright. I will speak to General Vale real quick because he was one of the major nobles. Time is critical, the general says. Selena already has Duke Udo's support in Tornassa. She'll be gathering her army alongside Duke Idan of Lud. At least Duke Bandar has no troops worth mentioning. By this time next year, they will march on us, and either way we will fail. Say we shall defeat them. Say what do you suggest. Say we will take the fight to them. We'll ask him what we suggest. There's only one option. We must strike first. You will have the winter to build the strongest army you can muster. We must then march southward to Luz, defeat Duke Adan. With the Adan Duchy under your rule, we must immediately continue north and defeat Duke Udo and Duchess Selena of Tornassa. After reclaiming Tornassa, their might will be broken, and it will be simple to march north to take the Bandar Duchy as well. It might be done in one season, or they will have time to build insurmountable defenses against you. As it stands, it will be a long shot to success, but it will be our only chance. You realize that General Vale's knowledge and reputation among the troops will prove invaluable to you to take back your kingdom. It is a pity that you have not gained his respect, since it will make working with him much more difficult. Needed 30 respect. Okay, well, what the fuck ever then? Where is my stuff for them anyway? Citizen fear 0. Good. Army surplus size. Where's Archmage Kumari? Only a 53? Torvor fucking loves me though. We'll go talk to him next. So we are going to war, Lord Torvor says. It is only natural that you should strive to reclaim the rest of your kingdom. But how can we do this if we are keeping the war funding the same, as we discussed? We're increasing the war spending, we allocate tax revenues immediately. We are leaving the war spending the same. We are cutting the war budget. We're leaving the war spending the same. Citizen reputation plus 10, army morale minus 5, and army power minus 5. Well, that's gonna fucking suck. Wise and prudent course of action, my prince. The clerk bows to you formally and leaves. It will be difficult to build an army without increasing the spending, but at least the common people will be happy. We'll speak to Kumari. So you plan to begin your reign with war, Archmage Kumari says thoughtfully. General Vale is correct, of course. You have no other option. Time is against you. The other three duchies will grow faster than you, and they will attack. You have to attack first, but I'm afraid that you will lose. Your army is too small. Tornassa always held the bulk of Daria's soldiers, and they are firmly in the hands of Duke Udo. Even if you drafted every able-bodied man and woman across the east, you wouldn't have enough. That is, if you restrict the soldiers to being human. Ask what are you talking about? You refer to the demi-humans? You mean demons? Fairy tales won't help us. What are you talking about? The other races, of course, Archmage Kumari says. Dwarves, elves, half-orcs, halflings, and gnomes. They have always kept to themselves, but if you are going to be triumphant, you'll need their aid. The other races are so aloof that many common people don't even realize they really exist. Occasionally, someone will see an elf, and a few very rich nobles own weapons made by the dwarves, but that is all. Even as the raids in the West are blamed solely on orcs, the idea of an orc-human baby is disgusting in many people's eyes. For as long as people can remember, the other races have stayed clear of humans. Your parents respected this unspoken truce and peace held. It is time for a true alliance to be formed, Archmage Kumari says. They will join you. The demon threat is too powerful for them to ignore humans any longer. Their aid will be most beneficial. Even if I wanted their aid, how would I find them? The army must march by spring. We don't have time for this. Yes, they shall serve us or die. How would I find them? The Academy of Wizards knows their location, Archmage Kumari says smugly. And even better, we have the means to get you there quickly. We have an artifact which can teleport you and a few others over great distances. Journeys that would have taken months can be done in mere seconds. I will loan you this artifact for the winter. If you do well, come spring, you may have an army strong enough to reclaim the rest of your kingdom. We must remove this demon-summoning threat, and I believe you are our only chance to do so. All right. So we can teleport. We have to go gain the respect of all of those other people. Our army feels like crap, but we'll probably build that up with the the other people as long as we can manage to get that army surplus size. So I'm guessing this is our supplies, and this is our army, and then that's our army food. So we need more food to feed the amount of power that it actually has, and I want to keep the citizens as happy as possible. And hopefully the thief harness is going to come in useful at some point. Oh yeah, and my loot. Where the fuck is it? There we go. A loot strung over my back. Somehow that's going to end up winning the game for me. Alright, let's go speak to Bran. Congratulations, Your Highness, Bran says. You've done it. The Brightwater City Guard is firmly in your control. Naturally. It was unfortunate that you killed those prison guards, but it couldn't have been helped. Army morale. -7. Well, fuck off! Yeah, it couldn't have been helped. The news of your victory is being celebrated across the city, but what do you wish the guards to do about those who are deserting and going to Tornassa to rejoin Duchess Selena alongside Duke Udo? Let them go, there is nothing we can do about it. Help them on their way. When Tornassa is mine again, they will still be my citizens. Let them go, but record their names. Execute the deserters. I don't know why I would want to help them, and I feel like that would really fuck up the stuff. So this would be fear. This might be fear. And these definitely are some morale losses. Maybe this would reduce food. About those deserting and going to Tornassa to rejoin Duchess Selena alongside Duke Udo. I'll just fucking let them go. Bran nods in acceptance at your order and then salutes you before returning to his duty. Citizen reputation +5. The leaves on the trees begin to fall, and the temperature drops quickly during the first few weeks of your rule. Samuel, the head steward, cleans out Selena's quarters and gives them to you. You don't find anything valuable among her belongings. Nilk and your companions are assigned guest quarters in your new keep. Being the ruler of a kingdom brings many benefits, including a fair wage for your services. Lord Tovor informs you that your stipend will be paid to you after a legislated length of time. For now, weapons and equipment are offered to you from the storerooms. Access to the royal treasury will remain off limits. The charter is clear that the tax money belongs to the people. After you have conquered Tornassa, you might have a chance to reclaim your family's wealth, if there is anything left. But for now, you have to be careful with your spending. Fuck it, we'll take a lantern. And the spikes. Alright, so now we've got the rest of our gear. Didn't have to pay for it this time. The temperature drops even further, and soon the snow begins to fall lightly. The sages are already saying that this will be a very cold and storm-filled winter. The priests and priestesses who are supportive of your cause say that this is a good omen from the gods and goddesses, since it assures that you will have an uninterrupted winter of preparation before war begins in the spring. Ask General Vale and Captain Bran. Go to the Dwarf King. Go to the Elf Queen, go to the Gnomes, go to the Half-Orc, go to the Halfling, stop gathering allies. I'm guessing we're going to get to do all of these, right? Probably. This is General Vale. The spy network that was the first thing Selena bolstered when she began ruling, General Vale says. The spy master went missing the day of the vote that restored your rule. You can be sure that Selena knows exactly what we are doing here. It's hard to be certain of the loyalty of any of the spies that remain behind. I could make a list of those that I think are most likely to be trustworthy, Captain Bran says. As far as I'm concerned, General Vale and Captain Bran are the same fucking person. What would you like to do? What would you like for them to be doing this winter? We need to learn what Selena is up to. Send them to NASA. Our first target is Lud. Send them to Duke Adan. My biggest worry here is Brightwater. Have them ferret out Selena's spies. The true threat is Zuzak. Send him to the Consortium. Sorry. Get the people out of here. This is smart, Bran says in agreement. We may not be able to stop the information from reaching Selena, but perhaps we could foil any possible sabotage plans before they occur. Bran relationship +2. Alright, sure, let's go visit the Dwarf King. Archmage Kamari is as good as his word. A team of wizards from the academy arrive in Brightwater for the winter with a cart full of stones. Samuel, the head steward, gives them a suite of large rooms for their use. The wizards carefully assemble the stones into a large arch which they show you when you come to their rooms. We can send you and one more person, the lead wizard said. In 2 weeks' time we will cast a spell to bring you back again. Alright, so I'm going to be visiting the who? Fucking forget. I'm gonna go by myself. You leave all your friends behind you to step forward. The wizards cast a series of spells in unison, and soon you see a multitude of lights cascading around you. Cascading around the portal. You step forward and through the arch. Suddenly you are elsewhere. It was cold when you left, but now it is even colder. You pull your winter clothing closer to yourself and look around. The gray mountains tower over you in all directions, but the enormous mountain you are standing on the side of is even bigger. The Academy of Wizards who sent you claim that this is the home of the dwarves, but you see no buildings and no structures. The ledge you are standing on has a narrow path leading down the mountain. You are just about to begin the long descent when you hear a grating noise. A section of the mountain wall swings open to reveal a short, stocky man with an impressive beard. He's holding a large crossbow aimed towards you. "Are you lost, laddie?" the dwarf asks in a gruff voice. "Say, I'm here to speak to your king. Pardon me, but are you a dwarf? Put that weapon down before I take it from you. Say nothing. I am here to speak to your king." "Are you now?" the bearded warrior says as he arches a bushy eyebrow. The dwarf opens the rest of the door, showing a large entrance into the side of the mountain. The stonework craftsmanship is remarkable. While the door had been closed, you hadn't even seen a seam. The thuds of more dwarf feet tell you that the doors have opened behind you. That similar doors have opened behind you. Before you can do anything, you are surrounded by more warriors with crossbows. "Come along now," the first one says. "It isn't every day we find a human on our doorstep. King Grolsch will want to speak to you." You are led into the mountain. The marble floor and enormous pillars show that the dwarf home has been here a long time. You see many warriors, several of whom holding worn battle axes which seem too large for their small statures. After a few minutes you find yourself standing in a large room with many long wooden tables. Seated at the tables are many more dwarfs with pewter mugs of ale and plates filled with food. A large stone throne sits empty in the corner. A dwarf with a bright red beard and battered crown stands up from one of the tables. "I am King Grolsch," he says as he puffs out his chest. "And who might you be?" "I am the heir to the kingdom of Daria. I am the ruler of the duchy formerly known as Domain. I am Prince Ben." "The king of the humans," King Grolsch says as he arches a bushy eyebrow. You begin by explaining that you are the prince of a portion of the humans. You spend the next hour telling King Grolsch about your situation and how you would like to make an alliance with him and his people. You explain that you would like his dwarven smithies to supply your army and dwarven warriors to join you in your campaign once the snow melts. "We have always let you humans do as you like, as long as you leave us alone under our mountains. But I agree, there is much to gain from trading with you. We do not shy from battle, and your cause seems just. Unfortunately, we have our own troubles." Say, "Perhaps there is something I can do to help." "I'm sorry the threat of the demon summoners is too great. I'm afraid we have no time to help you." "Very well, we don't need any stinking dwarves to help us anyway. Perhaps there's something I can do to help." "Oh?" King Grolsch says with a smile on his ruddy face. "Is the king of the humans also a great warrior? Very well, come with me." You don't bother to correct him a second time. He leads you through the hall as a group of dwarven warriors join you. After nearly an hour of walking, a door is open and you find yourself outside once more. He points across the mountain valley, which looks to have been trampled with small hoofprints. "This is where our sheep graze when the snows go away. About a mile in that direction a giant has made himself a home. The pesky creature is enormous, and he's eating our sheep. He's also killed several of our best warriors. If you can remove him, you'll have proved your worth to us, and we will help you in your upcoming war." Stealthily attempt to get close to the giant, boldly walk to the camp, ask, "Will some of your warriors come with me?" Say, "I'm afraid I can't help you." Let's walk to the camp." The dwarves grin as your bravado The dwarves grin at your bravado as you march across the snowy field. After an hour of walking, you see a large blazing fire. Several trees have been knocked over to fuel the inferno. The giant sitting in front of the fire gets to his feet as you approach. The creature is easily 11 feet tall and wears only rags. Despite the cold weather, you can see despite the cold weather, you can see grease stains across his chest from the many sheep he has feasted upon. In his hand he holds an enormous wooden club that is as tall as you are. Attack the giant with your sword, attempt to trip the giant, attack the giant with your dagger, attack the giant with your bow, cast a lightning bolt, say I mean you no harm, give up and leave the dwarves to deal with the giant themselves, say I mean you no harm. The giant cocks his enormous head to the side as he struggles to comprehend what you said. You aren't sure if he's going to answer, but then words from his big mouth. Yummy sheep. Kraytog eat. Yummy human. Kraytog eat you too. Needed 50 charm. Well, fuck off with your goddamn lack of charm. It should be there, but literally, unless I went like full charm, I wouldn't be able to do jack shit. Give up and leave the dwarves. Let's cast a lightning bolt then, if he's gonna fucking attack me. Alright, the giant roars a challenge as he rushes forward, but the lightning strikes him solidly in the chest, throwing him backward. He crashes to the ground dead as the smoke wafts from his charred body. You return to the dwarven halls where King Grolsch awaits. It feels good to have our grazing pasture back, and to know that the best of our sheep are now safe. I am glad to have met you, Ben. The dwarves clap you on the back and congratulate you. Many of them want to see their mines, which are now... Many of them want you to see their mines, which are now pride and joy of the dwarven community. You spend the remainder of the 2 weeks among them, drinking in their halls, learning their songs, studying their religion, working in their mines. You know what? Let's learn their songs. History, +5. Cool. Although you aren't a bard, you appreciate the melodies and lyrics of their songs. Many of the tunes are bawdy and rough, but the dwarven ballads speak centuries of history. They are filled with tales of the lands from some unique earthly perspective of the dwarves. As the 2 weeks come to an end, King Grolsch says that the dwarves he is sending to your aid have already left the mountain. They will make to the Brightwater by spring, so they can be with you when you begin your campaign. You will have dwarven blacksmiths to keep your army equipment in excellent condition, and a few dwarven warriors to supplement your troops. Army power +5, army size +7. Magical lights suddenly rise around you. When the lights diminish, you see the wizards and the artifacts, and know that you are back in Brightwater. Nilk, the boy you rescued from Bunta, is having a lot of trouble adapting to his new freedom and to palace life. Despite everyone's attempts to find out who he really is, or who his parents are, nobody can learn anything. To make matters worse, he still won't speak. He bit the maid, Samuel said, the head steward complains to you. It was bad enough when he was growling at my staff when they cleaned his room, but after this, everyone refuses to go anywhere near him, and I have to clean the room myself, with a pair of guards at my side. You have to do something. Make Nilk a royal page under Samuel's care. Ask Samuel to find Nilk some work in the kitchen. Tell Samuel to leave Nilk alone. Say, well, don't clean his room anymore. Send Nilk to the Academy of Wizards for formal education. Send Nilk to the Temple Orphanage, and out of your life forever. We'll send Nilk to the Wizards. Oh, fuck him! The chances of Nilk having the skills needed to be a wizard are slim, but the great education of the Fable community would still be beneficial to him. You send a private letter to the Archmage Kamari, telling him about Nilk as well. Nilk scowls at you the day that he's taken from Brightwater and sent to the Academy. Well, don't fucking bite people then. You want to be a dog, I'll treat you like a dog, and I rehome you, bitch. Go to the Elf Queen in the Elf Heart Forest, go to the Gnomes, go to the Half-Orc. Let's go to the Halflings. You go to the suite where the wizards from the Academy are staying. The mages gather around the portal, ready to do their casting. You know what? Let's bring Petra to the Halflings. Petra moves forward with you, her armor rattling with each step. Hey, Petra's at 100. Alright, the wizards cast a spell. Once more, familiar lights are up across the portal. You and Petra step forward and through the arch. The magical lights received from your vision to reveal a snowy landscape of gently rolling hills ahead of you. You and Petra are standing in knee-deep snow to the side of a frosty road that has been lined with the twin grooves of a sleigh. The small paw prints of dog of dogs show the type of animal that pulled the halfling sleighs. You see many wafting columns of smoke coming from the various chimneys sticking out of the hills. You walk along the road towards the halfling community. Despite the calm and friendly nature of the halflings, the experienced dog riders easily spot your arrival. By the time you reach the first home, a small gathering of halflings is there to greet you. You and Petra are invited to the home of Mayor Oban, the leader of the small people. Your outer garments are hung on the hooks near the door, and you soon find yourself seated on the floor in front of a roaring fire, since their chairs are too small for you. "Greetings and well met, Prince Ben," the halfling leader says. "I am Mayor Oban. I know why you have come. You are reclaiming the human kingdom to prevent a wave of demon-summoning fanatics from destroying the land, and you wish to have our aid in the upcoming war. Ask, how do you know all that? The demon threat will people will be allowed to join my people. If I'm the ruler, I require warriors. I seek an alliance between our people. How do you know all that?" The mayor smiles knowingly. "We tread softly and unseen," he says in a grand tone, and then he breaks into a smile. "But in this case, we were told by a wizard from your academy. We stay hidden from big folk in our hills and are not easily found. I seek an alliance between our people." "We would welcome peace," Mayor Oban says. "We will help you." Your diminutive host continues to bring out food for your enjoyment. Warm pastries, salted meats, sweet pickles, spicy cheeses. Fucking sweet pickles. I fucking hate pickles. Can't stand it. Although I'll indulge in the salted meats and pastries and cheeses. It is easy to see how he got his rotund figure. He discusses the militia he will send to Brightwater and how they could aid your campaign. "However, before we can aid you, we need your help," he says. "A small matter for one of your talents. But the situation is beyond our experience, you see. We have an undead problem. It has been plaguing us for several months now. We are simple people, and our clerics have been unable to deal with it. If you can lay the spirit to rest, we will be able to aid you, and we will be able to send the aid you require. Will you help us?" "I'm not a priest, but I'll try to help. This is blackmail. You must help me first. No, I will not help you." "Yeah, I'm not a priest, but I'll sure try to help." You and Petra are given human-sized beds for the night. In the morning, you are taken to a small round door in the halfling home on the other side of the community. You see that several tables have been erected in front of the door, and great heaps of food have been placed upon them. You have read about such offerings, but the circumstances of the situation seem all wrong. As a well-read scholar, you have your doubts about the authenticity of this alleged ghost sighting. History +2 and Arcana +2. "The ghost lives within," Mayor Oban says. Ask, "Whose home is this?" Inspect the home carefully. Enter the home. Refuse to enter. We'll inspect the home carefully. You search around the house carefully, but you find nothing special. Need 50 perception. Well, fuck off then. Enter the home. The mayor and his associates all gasp at your bravery, and you stand back as you open the door and walk in. You see that the house looks like someone still lives here. A fire is burning in the fireplace, and there are empty plates in the kitchen. "This is not the work of a spirit," Petra says. "I would sense an occurrence. Something else is happening here." You feel something brush against your coin purse and realize that it is lighter than it was before. -50 gold. "Begone," a voice suddenly says in the empty house, "or I shall lay my spectral hand upon you and drain your life." Say, "I know you aren't a ghost. Show yourself." "What gave it away?" the disembodied voice asked in a pouting tone. "Oh, I'm tired of all this anyway. All the food I could want, but it's so lonely." Listen to the voice speak. Strike the voice with your sword. While it's distracted, slash the voice with your dagger. Unleash an arrow. Punch the owner of... listen to the voice. "I am Lomi, and I'm lonely." The voice continues. "I found a magical artifact which turned me invisible, but I don't want to be invisible anymore. Place your hand here and say, 'Lomi, become visible.'" Sure. You reach out your hand and feel something place on it. You say the words, "Lomi, become visible," and the empty air in front of you changes. To your surprise, it's a short halfling holding a silver necklace up for you to touch. The necklace has a blue teardrop gem on it. He releases the necklace into your hand. Gain teardrop necklace. Cool. Ask Lomi where he got the necklace. Demand, give back the gold stole from me. How's the necklace work? Halfling goes white as he answer. "It grants wishes." Ask Lomi where did he get the necklace. Well, the halfling begins. "There was this elf priest, scary-looking guy. He had lions on his bracers. Well, he dropped it. When I tried to find him, give it back, he had already left. Take it. It's cursed. I never want to see it again." Alright, we'll tell the mayor the problem is solved. Hopefully he'll get the item. The mayor is surprised to hear the ghost was just loamy. The halfling claims that the necklace made him do it. You don't believe him, though. Of course, the necklace made him invisible, but the halfling's actions were his own. Mayor Oban is overjoyed that the house is now ghost-free. The next few days go by comfortably as you are fed a lot of food and the halflings come to meet you. The mayor dispatches a pack of dog-riding halflings to Brightwater as well as a band of halfling slingers to augment your ranged troops and your upcoming war. Army size and army power +7. Cool. You examine the teardrop necklace in great detail, but doesn't do anything more. At the end of the 2 weeks, the magical lights erupt around you and take you back to Brightwater. Do I have the necklace? Spellbook, sword, holy symbol, dagger, bow, loot. Yeah, I do have it. Okay. Cool. I'm thinking maybe I'll bring... who we got here? I think we might bring Theo to the half-orcs. I feel like that would be a good idea, but we've still got 3 more of these people to visit, and I'm thinking that's going to be a job for tomorrow because it's late as fuck. I need to go to sleep. Alright. God. Alright, yep. To be resumed. Or to be continued. Whatever. It'll happen later. Like, comment, subscribe. Dude, I don't know. I was going to say go punch somebody or something. I don't even know. Good night.